What's good, y'all? This your boy Peachy Perfect, and thank you for joining me on this new journey, the Don't Cancel Me Sports Show. It's your boy Peachy Perfect once again. I'm here to bring you the hottest stories and discussions in sports. I wanted to create a separate page because I love to talk about sports so much, and I didn't want it to be on our main page. I felt like sports deserved its own page. So I hope this becomes your number one sports show that you can come to get all the information and to be a part of all the hottest discussions. I promise you all, the content that's going to be coming on this page is going to be amazing. I have different segments planned. I have different stories, the football season, basketball season, the World Cup, whatever it is. We have so many different things. Anything sports related will be discussed on this channel. I am so excited. Of course, whenever we can, Vino Flight will be a guest show. We'll have different guests, some friends of mine. Hopefully we can get to doing some interviews with athletes, collegiate, professional, whatever. I hope this grows to where I want it to go, and I do believe it has a strong chance to do that. But it's going to take each and every last one of you all. So I know this is a new page, but I still want you to hit the subscribe button right there. Like this video as I get ready to push this video out to the public, so more and more people will be able to be a part of the conversations. Don't be ashamed to leave your comments. I don't care how crazy it is. I have a segment that's going to be where we're talking about the hottest takes. So if you got hot takes, drop them in the comments below. You never know if you'll be in the next video, because I cannot wait to get to the point where I can start responding directly to a lot of y'all's comments, because when it comes to sports, everybody has different opinions, and I cannot wait to see everything that you all have to say. So remember, subscribe right now, like this video, and also leave a comment on anything that we're talking about today. So like I said, a lot of stuff is planned, but this is episode 1, so I'm just trying to get it all out, see what we're looking like, how get a feel of the show. So things will change over time, but I got some amazing new segments that I'm going to be releasing for y'all. I think they will become staples that people will really enjoy. So with that being said, man, let's really just get into it. Let's really get into it on this special episode 1 show. So coming out the gate off the weekend, one of the biggest news stories was Conor McGregor returning to the octagon to fight Max Holloway. This was a huge fight from the get-go. Conor McGregor hyping it up, getting us all excited. Of course, Max is a great fighter. Conor returning was one of the UFC greats, returning to the ring after, I want to say, about 5 years being out. Huge fight. I believe I saw something where they had generated about $25 million in pre-ticket sales, which is amazing hype for a huge fight. Unfortunately, this fight only lasted 69 seconds when Conor McGregor sustained an injury to his leg, which looked like it happened allegedly after he attempted the first flying kick. If you go back and watch that clip, it does look like he lands awkwardly on his leg. And if anybody that knows anything about ACL or MCLs or PCLs or TCL, that's a TV, but anybody that knows anything about any of those knee ligaments, they can really go out at any time, and a lot of times it's through non-contact. Nobody really tears an ACL by actually getting hit in their ACL. I'm not saying that doesn't happen, but it's like an Achilles. It's a soft tissue, almost like a soft tissue injury, where Achilles pop doesn't have anything to really do with the person in front of you doing anything to you. It's usually you taking off or jumping or whatever. Kind of the same concept here. So when he landed awkwardly, Max, of course, knew that something was wrong right away, and of course the referee stopped the fight. But now this left a lot of people very upset because they just didn't understand what it didn't make sense. You know, people that can't fathom certain things, they just begin to speculate and to begin to create their own theories rather than someone just got hurt. But we are living in a time now where you have people that's being charged in the NBA right now for gambling. You have the Texas Tech quarterback. I can't think of his name at the moment. Sorely, I think it was like Sorely or something like that, but you have him who placed 9,000 something bets while he was in college playing football on his own sport. So in this world of gambling, in this world of sports betting, it's not too far-fetched of people to think that what if Conor McGregor went into the fight and threw this fight? Now, me personally, I don't believe that. And when you look at the video, you can tell that he really landed awkwardly. Like if you just take, the conspiracy out of it and watch the video for what it is, you see his knee buckle. For anybody that knows sports, it's not. Come on, guys, let's go. It's not out of the ordinary for something like that to happen. Yes, it's unfortunate. Yes, people paid a lot of money and then they didn't get anything that was kind of worth the money that they spent. I understand it was an amazing card. I actually didn't see all the fights that happened before it, but it was an amazing card from what I was hearing, and it was going to be an amazing main event, but we just had an unfortunate event take place. So, I personally do not believe that there was any gambling. I know that there's people like the Las Vegas people want Conor McGregor to be investigated. I did see that story circulating on the internet. I'm not sure how true that is, but I know that they were looking at. I did see that they were looking at investigating Conor McGregor due to this unseen circumstance, and I hate that for him because he doesn't strike me as someone who would have to fake something like that to get ahead or whatever. But you never know what's happening behind the scenes. So I don't want to sound like I'm naive to things that happen behind the scenes. I get it. Things happen, but I just don't think that's the case in this situation. I hate, in sports nowadays, and this situation is a great example of sometimes when we don't get the results that we believe, it's got to be rigged. It's got to be the refs are in on it, and things like that. Instead of these are just how things played out on the court, on the field, in the ring. These are just how stuff played out. When games are too good, or things or calls are getting missed, or I just hate. We gotta stop this conversation that if things don't go our way, it's rigged. If our team loses and it was a bad call after bad call, hey, maybe the referees just sucked. I never really want to blame the system rigging it for my team to lose. There have been instances where it really highly made me question the credibility of referees. And one example I know that comes to mind was the Saints and the Rams NFC. I think it was the NFC Championship game. I think it was. And the Saints did the wheel up the sideline, and the defensive back hit the running back or whoever it was so much earlier than before the ball got there, and there was no call, and that call could have completely changed the whole trajectory of what ended up happening, because I believe that's the year that the Rams ended up winning that game and then end up going to the Super Bowl and defeating the Cincinnati Bengals. I don't know if that's Super Bowl where they played the Patriots. I'll have to go back and look, but either way, they was granted a Super Bowl berth, which could have been Drew Brees' second Super Bowl appearance, and hopefully win, which would have definitely put him into a different stratosphere. So yes, there has been times where it has made me question what's going on, but I always remember that they're human. They're human. They make mistakes. So I don't want to take away from the main point, which is Conor McGregor. I don't think this is an election. I'm not election. I'm sorry. I'm thinking about politics, but I don't think this is a sports rigging moment. I just think it was a freak accident. Sometimes these things just happen. If you've played in good games. Some of y'all out there that's former athletes, whether you're played women's basketball, softball, football, basketball, you've been in sports, you've played sports at a high level, and not even if you play sports at any level, you've been in some games that just felt so good, a fairy tale ending. I recall myself in high school when we went up against our rival school and we wasn't going to the playoffs, and they were this big bad school, and we won on a game-winning field goal. What an amazing way to end my football journey. That's the last game I will ever remember playing, was winning that game against that school by a game-winning field goal. And it's like it was a movie. It was the perfect ending to a movie. Not everything is scripted, guys. Not everything is rigged. And gambling, yes, as big as it is, it's not dictating sports on the level that I do believe that we want it to dictate it. So that's kind of my take on the whole in gambling and all that. But when it comes to Conor McGregor, it makes me wonder, What will happen next? I believe he's only won one fight or had one fight since 2016 that he's won. I know he hasn't been fighting, and I know he fought Floyd in that. And Conor McGregor has been, the point I'm making is that it's been a long time since he has looked dominant. This was his opportunity to come back into the ring, put on a performance, defeat Max Holloway, and then start to reclaim his dominance in the UFC. But coming in again and now another lower extremity injury, it's not looking like Conor McGregor should be fighting in the octagon soon. I believe he has a 2-fight deal, we're most likely going to at least get this to try this one more time. Of course, if he goes in there and dominates, I still don't see him getting back to the top of the charts, but he does need that victory on him just to go out with a bang, because I don't think that he has much fight in him. So hopefully he recovers, he rests. He's going to have to train again, but I don't know what is going to happen to his next fight. What does it do to his confidence? This is the second time he's had a lower leg injury. What does that do to your confidence? When you go in, are you afraid to throw a kick? I believe when he fought, I forgot who he fought, and I think he's kicked and broke his leg. Then I think he had a broken toe at one point. All these lower extremities injuries are going to add up. So I don't believe Conor McGregor will be back to who he was. But I guess we will just have to wait and see, because right now it's not looking too good. As a fighter, being out for 5 years, trying to come back, and then you get that injury. And so now you're going to have to be out for another maybe year and a half training. And then you probably won't fight again till, what we in 2026? You probably won't even fight again till late 2027 at the earliest. So we're possibly looking at 2028 Conor McGregor, which will put him out of actual competitive fighting for 8 years. Haven't fought in 8 years, possibly. And you expect to come back and dominate? Yeah, right. I don't see it happening for Conor McGregor. So let me know what you all think. Do you all think Conor McGregor can still come back and create and get back to the top of the mountain? Do you believe he can come back and get to the top of the mountain? I don't. But let me know in the comments what you think about Conor McGregor returning and getting back to the top of the chart. So that's yeah, it's insane to me, you know, that happened to him. I hate that for him. I know he probably was excited for that fight, and it just didn't end up turning out the way that he wanted it to. So, yeah, we'll see what happens when he recovers. Moving on to the National Football League. A lot of controversy has come out now as we are now gearing up, with a couple of teams, a couple days at this point away from starting training camp. I'm so excited. Football season is back. Go Texans. If you have not figured out in my background, that is who I'm representing. Season ticket holder. Can't wait. But that's not what we're talking about today. We're not talking about the Texans today. That's going to be another video. All right. But right now, you know, in this point, they're doing the NFL Top 100, and they're interviewing, they're getting, they're surveying NFL scouts, executives, and coaches, and they're putting together these top 10 lists of these executives, coaches, and scouts. And of course, the biggest one that caused a lot of controversy was the top 10 NFL quarterbacks. That caused a lot of controversy, because here is the list. Number 1, Josh Allen. Number 2, Patrick Mahomes. Number 3, Matthew Stafford. Number 4, Joe Burrow. Number 5, Lamar Jackson. Number 6, Dak Prescott. Number 7, Justin Herbert. Number 8, Drake May. Number 9, Jared Goff. And number 10, the Madden cover athlete, Caleb Williams. This list has caused so much controversy amongst all the sports talk shows, and of course people agreeing, of course people disagreeing. But here I am about to give you my take on what I felt like about this list. A couple things to point out. First and foremost is the notable name that's missing from this list: Jalen Hurts, Super Bowl winner; Baker Mayfield; Trevor Lawrence; and Sam Darnold. That's just a few notable names. Of course, Jaden Daniels, CJ Stroud. There are other names that we might talk about during this discussion, but really don't need that much to be talked about. So, I guess first things first, I want to talk about my issue with the list, because I want to pull the list up. Excuse me, I want to pull the list up right here so that I can look at it. But there was two big things that caught on to me on this list. So I'm going to talk about the what I would turn around or what I would sub in and sub out, and then I'm going to give you my personal top 10 quarterback list, and hopefully you'll have a better understanding of why I personally picked this list. But yes, one thing that stood out to me on this top 10 quarterback list I'm going to go with first is Caleb Williams coming in number 10. What has he done to be the top 10 quarterback in football? Let me know. Let me know what Caleb Williams did to deserve the top 10 spot. You're telling me out of 32 quarterbacks in the National Football League, Caleb Williams is number 10. Going into his, his third year? Going into his fourth year. Whatever, I think it's his third year, whatever it is. Going into his third year, coming off an amazing quarterback, playoff win against the Green Bay Packers, I think that was. Amazing victory. But what has he done? He didn't even have the best statistical season. All them games, he was highly inaccurate until the end of the game where he came out and made a lot of heroics and a lot of trick plays. And Caleb, I would never forget the first time I ever noticed Caleb Williams. I think it was the Red River Shootout, or the Red River Rivalry is what they call it, OU versus Texas. And I remember my first time seeing Caleb Williams. I think he was a freshman in that game. And I remember him, I remember the running back having the ball, getting stopped, and Caleb Williams running up, taking the ball from him, and then was able to get a first down. So the kid makes amazing plays. And I think Caleb Williams is an amazing player. I just hate that we get to crowning some of these guys so early when they have not rightfully deserved it. That's another person that's going to be on, I'm going to talk about here in a second, that's on this list as well. But I want to focus on Caleb for now. Caleb Williams, I do believe, has potential to be in the top 10 going into the following season, but not this season. Not this season. The Madden cover, I get it. He made spectacular plays. He had probably one of the greatest playoff clutch throws that we've ever seen in the history of the sport this past season. He is amazing. He is a highlight. He is a walking highlight. I get that. He has the potential to be a top 10 quarterback. But is this list off of potential? Yes, partially. But it also has to be accounted for what you have actually done and how well you actually played the position. And to me, Caleb, there is another two names that have played the position, I believe, at a higher level that they deserve to be in the top 10 going into the next season. But I'll get to that in a little bit. The next person I feel this strongly about is Justin Herbert. People, I watch a lot of shows. I watch Colin Cowherd. I watch First Things First. I love First Take. I love Get Up. I love Nightcap. I love all these different sports shows, even Skip Show with him and Gilbert Arenas and them. I watch so many different shows, and of course everybody has different opinions, but it really blows my mind how much love that Justin Herbert gets when he's done absolutely nothing in the National Football League. I know. The intangibles are there. He's like 6'3", 6'4", whatever, however tall he is. He has the size, he has the arm, he has the speed, he has the mindset, and he has it all. But he doesn't have the wins. Oh, it got quiet. He doesn't have the wins, but yet he's at the top of every quarterback conversation. Why? I do believe, and let me not say I believe. I don't like how a lot is on the quarterback. You know, you can have an outstanding game and still lose because it's a team sport. Your defense has to go stop people. Receivers have to catch the ball. Running backs can't be fumbling. It's not on line has to block. It's a lot of things that have to go right. But there comes a time where you might not be the reason we win, but you cannot be the reason we lose. And I've seen Justin Herbert be the reason they lose in big games. I definitely recall them being up, was it 27-0 against Trevor Lawrence in the Jacksonville Jaguars? They lost that playoff game in embarrassing fashion. When they played the Texans, I was there. We made them look silly. And at the end of that season, they were more of a hotter team than we were. We had the home game because we won our division. But they was rolling because we had just previously played them. I want to say earlier in the season. That might have been last season, but whatever. But when we played the Chargers in that playoff game, it was we embarrassed Justin Herbert in another playoff game. Time after time again have I seen Justin Herbert be the reason his team lose. That's the difference. He is the reason that they're losing. He ain't got his left tackle. He ain't got this. He don't have this. I don't hear any of that when he's winning. But when he loses, that's when I hear that he don't have this and he don't have that. I don't understand the hype on Justin Herbert. I think we need to calm down on him just a little bit. I still think he's an amazing quarterback. I still think he's talented. And maybe he will shut me up this season. I hope so. But until that happens, he has to come out the top 10. For me, the biggest, for me, when I look at this list, of course, when you get to the top of it, Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes, Matthew Stafford. I did do some rearranging there in my top 10. I got to be fair. I have to be fair. When I'm looking at who I believe are the top 10 quarterbacks in football. So let me give you that list of who I believe is the top 10 quarterbacks in football going into next season. So I'm going to give you my list and I'm going to explain why I replaced who I replaced and why I rearranged who I rearranged. So here goes my list. I'm going to go from 1 to 10. Number 1, Matthew Stafford. Number 2, Patrick Mahomes. Number 3, Josh Allen. Number 4, Lamar Jackson. Number 5, Dak Prescott. Number 6, Joe Burrow. Number 7, Drake May. Number 8, Jalen Hurts. Number 9, Jared Goff. And number 10, Baker Mayfield. Now, let's go ahead and get the one out the way that I know for sure is going to cause a lot of controversy. Me having Baker at number 10. If you ask me, I believe Baker Mayfield, yes, he is one of the top 10 quarterbacks in football. Yes. Now, does he benefit playing in the weaker division? Of course, he does. Brady did for 20 years. We never batted an eye. He beating up on the Jets, beating up on the trash Bills. The moment the conference got a little tough, he went to Tampa Bay. He didn't win a Super Bowl for by winning that same division. Yeah, they were a little better then, but won that same division. Tom Brady leaves. The next quarterback has to replace the Tom Brady. Baker Mayfield steps in. Amazing seasons with amazing playoff battles. He performs well in big games. He didn't have his strongest game against the Lions in that playoff game. He didn't have his strongest game, but the team didn't either. Baker Mayfield is a dog. Baker Mayfield has heart. And Baker Mayfield is so underrated as a passer of the football. I would take him on my team before I take Justin Herbert or who else do we replace? Justin Herbert or Caleb Williams. Right now. Jalen Hurts. I put him on the list. Moved him up to 8. Now, I know Jalen Hurts is one of those people that people say, we go back and forth all the time with Jalen Hurts. I don't think he's a top 5 quarterback. No, I'm not putting him up there. I don't care if he's won a Super Bowl. I don't care if he outplayed Mahomes in 2 of them. I don't care. I'm not putting him in the top 5 on a week-to-week basis. Yes, big games are important to me, like I said about Justin Herbert, but you must be able to maintain some sense of greatness even when the team around you isn't as great. Mahomes did that. They won, not this past season, but the season before that, they won like 10 games in about that was one possession. That's coaching, that's quarterback play. Excuse me. That's coaching and that's quarterback play. Jalen Hurts shows us that he is such a big game type of player. That's just who he is. You know, people talk about arm talent. People talk about fitting balls into tight spirals in the tight holes, and people talk about being able to hit a deep ball while the receiver's in stride, and people talk about timing and getting the ball out and knowing the sack. But there is a skill that doesn't get talked about enough, and it's called winning. It's called winning. I bet you Justin Herbert wish he had that skill. I bet he does. We'll be talking about Justin Herbert as he's the greatest gift that God ever made for the sport of football. If he was winning more games. Justin Herbert is the same as Trevor Lawrence. Someone out there explained to me somebody out there explained to me why Justin Herbert and Trevor Lawrence are not the same player. Trevor Lawrence was the golden child. They call him Sunshine from Remember the Titans because he had the long blonde hair. Continue to disappoint in Jacksonville. What is the difference between him and Justin Herbert? Why is Herbert looked at as a perennial top quarterback and Trevor Lawrence isn't anymore? Is Trevor Lawrence a foreshadow of where Justin Herbert's going? I don't know. You tell me. But I know Jalen Hurts, because of him and his ability to run and throw the ball, the Eagles always have an opportunity to go and win that game. And yes, he has great talent around him. Saquon. They got rid of A.J. Brown, but they got one of my favorite receivers, Smitty, Devontae Smith, for those who don't know, which is one of the greatest college wide receivers I have ever seen. Jalen Hurts always will give his team an opportunity to win. And with that, you have to be in my top 10. Now, when you go to the top of my list, where I have Matthew Stafford 1, Patrick Mahomes 2, Josh Allen 3, Lamar Jackson 4, and probably another controversial, Dak Prescott over Joe Burrow. I forgot about that. Let me talk about that for a second. Dak Prescott and Joe Burrow. I can argue that they're the same quarterback. Can I not argue that Dak Prescott and Joe Burrow are not the same quarterback? I mean, excuse me. I can argue that they are the exact same quarterback. They're both quarterbacks on a team who has horrendous defense, who everything relies on the offense. And yes, the Bengals were historically great, but so were the Dallas darn Cowboys. But the one reason why I picked Dak Prescott over Joe Burrow is because Dak is a lot more available than Joe. Joe always had something wrong with him. And this is hard for me because I absolutely love Joe Burrow. I do. I think he is a phenomenal talent. But the best ability is availability. And Joe Burrow does not have the greatest availability. I know. Real, Joe Burrow took his team to the Super Bowl. Dak Prescott and them can't win playoff games. Didn't you say that was important to you? It is. It is. But you got to get to the playoffs too in order to make a playoff run. Joe Burrow had an amazing playoff run and was a throw away from winning the Super Bowl. Go back and watch that play where Aaron Donald hit him. Jamar Chase was open down the sideline. Probably would have been one of the greatest plays in Super Bowl history to win it. Go back and watch that play. If I can find it, I will put it. You're probably looking at it right now. If I'm able to find that clip, I'm playing it right now. If I'm able to find it, he was open. But what do? I can't rewrite history. You still didn't win the Super Bowl. So yes, Dak Prescott is not the greatest playoff performer. But to me, Dak Prescott plays that position as well as almost anybody in the sport. And then another thing to me with Dak Prescott is that he's playing for the Dallas freaking Cowboys. You hear me? The Dallas Cowboys. Ran by Jerry Jones and the Jones family. The Dallas Cowboys. The number one brand in the entire sports world, not the NFL. Cowboys are bigger than the Lakers. They're bigger than the Yankees. They're bigger than Barcelona. They're bigger than the Boston Celtics. They're bigger than any other brand. The Dodgers. They're bigger than any other brand in all of sports. The amount of pressure that Dak Prescott has to go out there and play each and every week to uphold this standard that the Cowboys have set for themselves, not only by their brand, but by their fans. Every year is their year. So to go out there and perform at a very high level with that much pressure on you, to me, is why I have Dak Prescott ranked ahead of Joe Burrow and the part that he's available as well. So let me know in the comments, would you put Joe Burrow over Dak Prescott? I'm sure a lot of y'all would, but y'all really don't have no real reasons on why. For my top three, Matthew Stafford, Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen. To me, Matthew Stafford is the reigning NFL MVP. He played the position at the highest level last year. That team was playing at an elite level. We're talking about a 2-point flop conversion that could have changed the entire season last year. Matthew Stafford plays this position the best in football right now. Better than Josh, better than Patrick at this moment going into next season. He is the best quarterback on this list. Josh is good, but I still got Mahomes over him. Mahomes did not have a solid season last year, and that's all right. He has 3 Super Bowl championships, and he's been to the Super Bowl 5 or 6 times. You're still scared to play Mahomes. People thought Josh Allen was going to go to the Super Bowl by the simple fact that Mahomes wasn't in it. Screw the Texans with the number 1 defense, and we beating Josh Allen every time we played them. Screw the Patriots, who actually won the division. Screw the Broncos, who was the number 1 seed in the AFC. Everybody thought the Bills would win or at least get to the Super Bowl simply because the Chiefs were not in, specifically Patrick Mahomes. Josh Allen, like I said earlier, there's a lot of performances that he should be thankful for. I mean, there's a lot of performances that he should be proud of. That's what I want to say. That he should be proud of. But last year when the pressure was on you, was it 4 turnovers? You had your Stroud game. No disrespect to CJ. Josh Allen is going to have to get to the Super Bowl in order to keep being considered one of the best, in my opinion. Matthew Stafford won a Super Bowl. Patrick Mahomes won a Super Bowl. Now, Super Bowls ain't everything. I'm not saying that because, of course, Jalen Hurts will be up higher. I'm not saying Josh Allen is still a supreme talent. And I love Josh Allen at 3. I think he should be above Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson plays so much worse than Allen in the playoffs. I don't know what it is. But also Lamar Jackson has some horrible luck. But a lot of times he needs that luck because of the situation he put them in. So that's my list. I'm going to say one more time. Matthew Stafford at 1, Mahomes at 2, Josh Allen at 3, Lamar Jackson at 4, Dak Prescott at 5, Joe Burrow at 6, Drake May at 7, Jalen Hurts at 8, Jared Goff at 9, Baker Mayfield at 10. So that is my top 10 with Herbert, Caleb Williams, CJ Stroud, Trevor Lawrence. Them type of guys are right outside the top 10. Maybe not CJ. I don't know why I actually wrote him down. I must have been drinking when I wrote this list down. But yes, take CJ out. But yes, CJ, we got some work to do, but that's a whole nother video. So my last topic of the day, going to the NBA, man. The biggest story of the NBA is LeBron James as we are getting ready for decision 3.0. This is decision 3. Wait, because he made the decision when he went from Cleveland to Miami. Then Miami back to Cleveland. That would be 2.0. Then Cleveland to LA would be 3.0. So this is decision 4.0, where LeBron James have already instructed the LA Lakers that he will not be returning for his 24th season. I want to say it is his 24th season in the NBA. So he is currently a free agent. It seems like he's enjoying his time. He's been everywhere. He was at the New York. He was in New York the other day for the Jay-Z concert. I saw he was, I think, overseas where I think the 2016 NBA championship, the Cavaliers team, they all got together and had a good time. Of course, that was a whole thing. Notably missing was Kyrie Irving. He's been back in Cleveland. He went to his old stomping grounds and got to go home and see and do that for a little while as well. So he's been on this little tour, of course, staying relevant, staying in the news cycle. But now we're all nearing a decision. Apparently, there's supposed to be a decision by the time I drop this video. Hopefully not, but hopefully by the time I even drop this video, he's probably already made a decision. I don't know just yet, but he is looking to make a decision here soon. And I personally, being a huge LeBron James fan, and he's probably my favorite athlete of all time. I'm starting to get a little LeBron fatigue. I don't necessarily want him to retire because he's still playing at a very high level, and I do think he can help a team win a championship, which we will talk about here in just a few minutes. But it's just everything that's coming with him. I'm just getting a little annoyed with. And I think part of that just because LeBron James been playing basketball since I was in middle school. There's not a life I know where there's not LeBron James in the NBA. So there's gonna come a time where I know he's gonna have to retire, but he's playing at a high level. I don't even think this might be his last season. I do think he's going to sign a 2-year deal with whoever he plays with a second-year player option. So that way he can kind of course, decide if he wants to come back for that final season or not. But I do think he will get to 25 seasons. I think that is something that's important to him as well. And he's still averaging like 20-something points, which is still top tier in the National Basketball Association. So when it comes down to LeBron James and his teams and where he's going, there are a couple options that I've been seeing consistently. But I had to break this up because I had to figure out what is important to LeBron. What is important to him? I know it's not money. This is not a financial decision because if it was about financials, he would have stayed in Los Angeles. I think he could have opted in to $50 million. Nobody else has money to sign like that. I'm sure somebody does, but not in any of the teams that's trying to compete. I don't think money is not a factor in this. So let's throw that out. I broke this down to 3 things. Happiness, hopeful, and honorable. Those are my 3 H's. Those are my 3 H's. Happiness. These are the 3 things that, depending on what's the most important, is how I believe he should make his decision. Happiness, hopefulness, and honorable. And then there's a move I just don't believe makes any sense to me at all. Let's talk about all of them. Happiness. What team would give LeBron the most happiness? I believe this team is the Golden State Warriors. LeBron James has always glazed the idea of him and Steph Curry being on the same team. They played together in the Olympic teams a couple times. He loves, so for someone that loves to facilitate, who wouldn't want to be matched up with a shooter like Steph? And boy, oh boy, would they not be a lot of fun to watch? Steph, Bron, Draymond, that team could be something. That team could. They can make some noise. I personally don't like that move because I don't like the idea of LeBron James going to Golden State, the one team that is the most like a rival to him. He played them in 4 NBA championships. What other player played another team 4 times? And that's the team you're going to go to end your career, to team up with the guy that has the same amount of rings as you, but he got 3 of them from beating you. I don't like the Golden State move for that reason alone. Now, if Steph and them was coming to him in LA, I would have loved it. But I don't like the idea of you going to someone else's home and showing off like it's yours. And plus, I don't think that team is strongest to win a championship anyways. So that's the move. I think that'll be the happiness part of him. If he's just hoping for the best. To me, that's Miami. Miami is the hopeful move. He played there 4 years, 2 championships. That's the one team he won the multiple championships for. There is no Dwayne Wade there. You would become one of the biggest names in the city of Miami. Miami is a lot like LA. A lot of opportunities there, business-wise. But I don't like the fit of LeBron, Bam, and Giannis. I think Giannis and LeBron's style of play does not go well together. Now, defensively, they're going to be some dogs. Defensively, that's a heck of a team that I feel like defensively can keep up with the San Antonio Spurs and Victor Wembanyama. I do think that Miami team can compete with the San Antonio Spurs. But if they had to play the Thunder, a team that's moving up and down, if they had to play the Timberwolves with Anthony Edwards and LaMelo Ball now, young athletic guards, I don't see Miami being a good fit. I don't see Miami. I don't see Miami winning I would give Miami a higher chance to win than Golden State. I would give him with Miami a higher chance than I would with him with Golden State. But yeah, I'm not the biggest fan of the Miami Heat move either. The most honorable move, this is easy. The legacy move is to return to Cleveland for a 3rd time. This is the move you want for the documentary, because with James Harden on that team, you ain't winning anything. One thing y'all learn about me as you start to watch this show a lot more is I do not care for James Harden. He will lose you a playoff series every single time. I don't, from a basketball standpoint, I don't understand it. But from a documentary standpoint and capitalizing in the future, it makes perfect sense. The prodigy son returns home to Cleveland, where he's the one that gifted them their first championship in 50 years as a city. The Akron boy, the chosen one, the king. The king returns home to sit on his throne where he rightfully belongs. Documentary go crazy. Interviewing with his old teachers and old friends and being right there in the city and LeBron taking us to where he used to grow up and do this and do that. The documentary gonna go crazy if he goes to Cleveland. But that's about it. That's about it. That's about it. The decision that just does not make sense to me at all is the 76ers. Now, I know. People may like, oh, that team has everything that you need. Happiness, championship, hopeful, honorable. The Sixers are one of the historic franchises as well. Legendary players like Dr. J. But I don't like this move simply because they already have enough people. I know. That's a cop-out answer, but it's the truth. There's only one basketball. Jaylen Brown, Tyrese Maxey, Joel Embiid. And now you add LeBron James into that? You're adding LeBron James into ball dominant Jaylen Brown, ball dominant Tyrese Maxey, and broke up Embiid. I'm sorry. Embiid, what did I say earlier about Dak and Justin or Herbert? The best ability is what? Availability. So if Joel Embiid is not available to play, what good is he? You will be stepping into a similar situation as what you did with Anthony Davis. There's not much difference between Anthony Davis and Joel Embiid. Hey, if you ask me, I'm probably taking, if they're both healthy, they both can play 82 games a season, I'm probably taking Anthony Davis over Joel Embiid because Anthony Davis plays remarkable defense. I will take Anthony Davis over Joel Embiid. I don't like the energy that Joel Embiid plays with. It's just something about him I cannot get with. And I just feel like whatever that is, I can't articulate it. But whatever it is, that's what's stopping him from taking that next level. That and his injuries. You going over there with two ball dominant guards and a big man who can't stay healthy. You should have just stayed in Los Angeles, which is what I think he should have done from the get-go. Him and Austin Reeves, Luka, man, just increase the defense or bring in some defensive wing specialists and a big man, and y'all can probably get to the Western Conference Finals, barring everybody stays healthy. I believe LA was the best move. But now that he told him he's not going to play there, I don't know. It looks like he could be going to Philadelphia. I don't like that move for LeBron James. I don't like Philadelphia. I don't. That just does not make sense to me. If he has to go somewhere different, if he has to go somewhere new, I really don't like any of these options, honestly. I wish he was going to the somewhere that wasn't even looking for him, and now he's there. I seen a rumor that if the Knicks wouldn't have won the championship, he would have been in New York. I would have loved that. But if I had to choose something from the options that we do have, I would probably say Golden State. As much as I don't like it because of what I stated earlier about them being your rivals, I do think it would be a lot of fun to watch him and Steph play. I do. As a competitor, I wouldn't go there. But as a fan, I do think it would be amazing to see. So let me know in the comments, where do you think LeBron James is going to go? Who do you think gives him the best opportunity to win a championship? Because that's what's important for him. Winning a championship is important. It is. It's part of it. Happiness is important. Winning a championship is important. He's not just trying to go somewhere and just be doing a bunch of nothing. So let me know in the comments what you all think where LeBron is going to go. Of course, with that being said, that is our hot sports takes of the day. Amazing first show. A lot of energy. Felt good talking about it. I can't wait to keep doing this. It's going to be a lot of fun, a lot of sports stories, man. But listen, none of this matters unless you go out there and unless you subscribe to this channel, you like this video, and then you drop comments. I want to debate with y'all. If you're watching this on the shorts, make sure that you're commenting. I'm going to start putting comments up on these videos, and I want to respond to you all, because sometimes people be saying some good stuff, and I have to type it. So I have a segment that I'm going to be planning where I'm going to be responding to comments and takes and things that I see on Twitter. And I'm excited about that. I truly am. And so please leave your comments. Let me know what you think about everything that was said today. Let me know what you think. And I will promise y'all another video is coming relatively soon. I don't know what days I'm doing this. I'm thinking Monday, Wednesday, Fridays. I'm thinking Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday. I want to do 3 shows a day because this is easy for me to talk about. So I don't know that just yet. I don't know when this show is going to air. It could be Wednesday. It could be Thursday. I don't know when I'm going to drop this episode yet. But nonetheless, when I do drop it, please make sure you like it. Please make sure you subscribe. Make sure you leave a comment. And I will see y'all on the next video. Go Texans.